You think the 49ers would have won if Purdy didn't get hurt?
I do, but I don't think that matters. Okay. So I do. I thought the Niners were, over the course of the season, the most impressive team in their conference, and I thought they were riding a hot streak that was very legitimate. And the postseason success they had to me validated that. And the Eagles, while they had been excellent over the first 3 quarters of the season, obviously hadn't played their best ball going in the postseason. And I thought Jalen was banged up, and he was banged up, and you saw it. But the reason, there were two key moments early in this game, Coach, and to me, it speaks to why football's the ultimate team sport, from the guy who's building the team, coaching the team, and the guy who's executing. Hassan Reddick made that play.
Yep.
Hassan Reddick was available for the whole league to sign. The Eagles didn't pay $120 million for him. They paid 3 years, $45 million bucks. And he changed the entire game with that play, even if Purdy hadn't gotten hurt. But with and that's one of the benefits of strip sack, is you can bang up the quarterback in a totally legal way. But the other noteworthy moment was before that, Coach. The 4th and 3 is so impressive for 3 reasons. One is they stuck to exactly who they were. They knew they're a 4th down team, so even in the conference championship game, they go for it. They went for a 4th and 1 later in the game on their own 34. The second was they had clearly coached up. Guys, if you make a big play and it's not actually a good play, we have a signal. Hurry up.
Yeah,
and
that
you saw
should be the signal to
Devontae.
challenge it, I mean, give me a break.
But that's where, listen, nobody gives Kyle Shanahan more credit than me. I think he's a brilliant play designer. But Sirianni 100% outfoxed him there. His guys were ready with this to know that would have been a turnover, ball in the 40. The whole game's different. Maybe Purdy doesn't get hurt. And Shanahan didn't pick up what I think a lot of us watching the game picked up, which was, Devontae Smith sure seems like he wants to hurry up. Might be worth tossing a challenge flag there. But instead he waited to hear to see if they got a view of it. They didn't. And so that's coaching. So the GM brought in a player. The coach had the players ready, and then their players went and executed. So I give the Eagles massive credit organizationally top down, even if I think you play this game 10 times, the Niners win 7 of them.
Yeah, I don't think they would have been able to win just based off the way the day went. And start with that protection. The idea of matching up your tight end against their best pass rusher. Okay, so that's one problem. And they did something very similar a few plays later. So there's that element to it. And then you move, fast forward, you don't get the challenge. And this is no secret that when a team is hurrying up, that usually means they don't feel like the ball was caught. And you practice it from both sides. And when you're in that situation, it's a 4th and 3 play. So it's a turnover type play. And then in addition to that, it's a scoring play because the ball's going to be on the 6, so you're going to get at least 3 points. Okay, so you got that. And then the next scoring drive, so you don't challenge. In the next scoring drive, there's 3 defensive penalties. They score there. Then there's the fumble right before the half. They score there. And then you come out in the second half, and that drive, you rough the punter, and then you rough the quarterback. So if you look collectively, it's special teams, it's coaching, it's defense, it's all those elements. So, yeah, maybe, look, I would have much rather seen Purdy and seen what that was, but there are a lot of things working against them.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt Philly wins. Either way, the shot that took Purdy out, I mean, that was going on all game. I get that was their first possession, but they had 13 quarterback pressures on 18 passes by the Niners. They had 7 QB hits on the 18 attempts and 3 sacks. So I think they were just going to be getting after Purdy all day. And they beat up the Niners. I mean, they put out both quarterbacks. You saw Fred Warner, Nick Bosa getting up slowly on different plays. Like, they were just more physical, and then they ran for about 150 yards. And people talking about Hurts didn't do a ton, but he didn't have to because they could run the ball all day on them. They're trying to work the clock. They had 37 minutes of possession to 22. I get it, after the quarterback goes out, it's tough. But still, I just think they were the better team.
So I'm going to go a step further, Coach, and you tell me if I'm usually the mayor fair, and I want to be, but you tell me if you think I'm being unfair. Because we've seen when quarterbacks throw a pass over the middle and a guy gets hurt, it's like, well, that's a hospital pass. That's basically the quarterback got you injured. Is it fair to say that Shanahan got Purdy injured with the decision to block Reddick with this tight end? Here's what he said. It's a tough block, but all play actions are tight ends versus edge rushers. You hope you can step up on it, which you usually do in the pocket. It was going to Ayuk, beat him. It was going to be a big play. So I think us football fans watch like he got hurt. but more studied football, if you were in the game, it's like, no, the scheme got him hurt. Is that fair to say from the Mayor Fair?
I hate the matchup of tight ends against defensive ends, especially defensive ends that lead your team in sacks. You ask tight ends to do so much. Now you're going to put them in a three-point stance. It's going to be hard sell play action. You're going to block their best pass rusher off the edge on an extended play. It's a recipe for disaster. And they do something similar later on. Yeah, you have an X for their O. It's not the same. You've got two really good offensive tackles. Use those guys in those situations, or at least don't leave the tight end on an island in a three-point stance against a guy who's got 16 sacks. It's a recipe for disaster.
I'm telling you, between this and my decision to guard Kelsey,
Yeah.
I got a future.
Yeah,
I'm
really
telling you, I can see stuff. On to the winning team. Hurts didn't have an overwhelming game, didn't need to. 15 completions, 121 yards, and a rushing touchdown. How much credit does he deserve for this win, bro?
I think, look, every time they win, I think he deserves a good amount of credit because he is the tone setter for that team. He galvanizes the locker room. He gives those players confidence. We saw how bad they looked when he wasn't in the game. They couldn't even beat the Saints, okay? And this guy comes in there. I know he didn't have a huge game statistically. He's the type of quarterback, sometimes like Lamar Jackson, sometimes like Michael Vick used to be, where the passing stats aren't always going to blow you away. And even his run stats didn't do that. But he is the engine for that team. So I think whenever they win, he deserves a good amount of credit because, look, even the rush yards, I think 150 yards they gained, would they have gained that many yards without the threat of him running the ball, without his misdirection and all
that
of the
part's
things
fair.
that make
The read
the running
option
game
stuff,
strong.
you almost have to give an
Absolutely.
assist to the quarterback when he puts on the give. We can show, I think, Hurts' total numbers for the game because they are quite pedestrian. I mean, you can see the 121 yards total. He didn't throw for it. There they are. So that is by no means a good game, right? If going into it, you'd have said, oh, that's not going to be enough for them to win.
Right.
Correct. And I do think the leadership stuff and all of that is very important. And I've said all year long, I'm amazed by how at such a young age he's taken control of the locker room and what a great leader he is. But I'm now going to betray a confidence and maybe ruin a relationship.
Oh, great.
Oh, wow.
Love that.
So our guy Dusty is a diehard Eagles fan. And Dusty is, his team's now playing my team, so he's putting on a brave face around the office. But I left my computer up in the conference room about 2:30. I went upstairs to get it, and I was walking in. Dusty's on the phone. I don't know who Dusty's talking to, ostensibly another Eagles fan. You know what I heard him say? Man, it's been almost 2 months since I felt good about how Jalen's playing.
Is that true?
Yeah. Oh, Dusty, is it true? It's true. It's true.
What are you doing?
And Coach, and then I'm going to add one other thing because I thought Sirianni did a great job. It was baffling to me, and I want your take on it, why when the game was firmly in hand, they're up 2 scores, and San Francisco's running the wing T, why they, on one possession, ran Hurts 5 times, including 3 times after he clearly got banged up on one.
Right.
That seemed unnecessary, even with a 2-week break between now and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. It was the first drive after the half, and they're up by 14 points. The game now is just both teams playing 4-minute offense. It's just going to be how quickly they can get the game done. And they put him at risk like 3 or 4 times, and one time he gets blown up.
Yeah.
And he's got the 2 quarterback sneaks. I think at that point you're thinking, okay, we gotta save this. It would have been everybody'd be sick if he'd gotten hurt on that drive.
And I think he did get hurt a little bit. It seemed like he got dinged bad on one.
I was shocked they kept running.
Blown up on one of them, and it doesn't make sense to put him at risk at that point.
Okay, Brew, per your contract, we have to discuss Jimmy G. He tried his best, smiling on the sidelines in an attempt to rally the team. He also wishes he could have played, saying, quote, I wish I had a helmet. Brew, do you think the king of QB wins could have delivered here?
What a warrior. I mean, what a warrior. I wish I had a helmet. I mean, isn't that Jimmy G? Isn't that what has made him such a successful quarterback? I mean, my goodness. I'm so glad Jimmy G didn't have a helmet as a guy that picked the Eagles. I picked the Eagles.
Okay.
And so, no, look, honestly, even with Jimmy G, even as much as he's done for the Niners, although Nick loves to deny it, it would not have made a difference. In fact, knowing Jimmy G's history, The way that they were clocking
gotten hurt
quarterbacks,
again.
he probably got hurt.
Can I
He'd
ask
got
another
hurt
question?
too. It'd have been
Just
3 of
very
them out
quickly
there
to Coach.
injured.
We have, I think, 15 seconds. I don't know if we can show it. The hell's so funny on that sideline while his team's getting annihilated? I'm just curious. I just don't know. Forget this.
Why
this
aren't
one.
you blaming
right
Trey
here.
Lance?
Oh, man, that
Trey
must be one
cracks
hell
a
of a
joke.
joke. Poor George Kittle's nearly in tears. Christian McCaffrey's trying to figure out how he's going to run the offense. Jimmy G's having a grand old time.
Well, what do you want him to do?
It was Trey
I don't know,
that
not-
look at Trey.
not-
Trey said
not be
something funny.
laughing.
Why aren't you after Trey?
Well, I think Jimmy's the. You told me Jimmy's the leader. Trey's following. He's like, I guess we laughing right now.
I can't
I don't know.
smile.
It was only
I don't know.
It was only 7-0.
I think you're supposed to be a little upset. I don't know. I think you're supposed to be a little
Probably not the
upset.
best time to be chucking it up.
Thank you. I knew Coach would agree. Coach, doesn't like it.
Anti-smiles
You
on
would've
this
sent him
show.
to-
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.